YouTube, please work. Please. I beg of you, please work.
We won't say what is up, everyone, until someone says we're live.
I think we're live. No, YouTube. Yep, there we go. We're live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new stream, and that is right. We're live on this beautiful January 13th, 2026. I hope everyone's having a great night. Yeah, it's actually an evening stream. We're going to start doing more of these throughout the week, probably like 2 times a week. So, yeah, we're joined by Mr. Poster Tubbs and Mr. Crockett is Done, a.k.a. Real Tech and Politics.
Hello.
The usual
what's up,
suspects.
guys?
So, a very sad day. A lot of stuff happened earlier today. We got to talk about Scott Adams, Mark Brnovich. Got to talk about Minnesota. Lots going on. Iran. We could be striking Iran any minute now. We're at that point now. So,
I think he's supposed to have a press conference on Iran, and
well, apparently,
we'll probably be announcing strikes, because I don't think it's going to be a secret attack like Venezuela, because I think the goal isn't to like capture the duly elected Ayatollah of Iran and put him in prison here, but
we'll see, because apparently
gonna strike. I think we're going to just strike their military bases, and maybe we'll strike the tomb of the old Ayatollah while we're at it.
Well, also the big thing is apparently Trump, he was supposed to not go to the Oval Office tonight. Apparently got rushed there. Apparently he got a new report about something. So shit might be going down the stream. So yeah. Now, before we get into today's stream, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. All great ways to support the daily content. And of course, if you want to support the channel even further, best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much chat as possible. But usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. So super chats greatly appreciated. But okay, American Nerd for 2. Are we going to go to war with Iran rap? I don't think we will. I think we're just going to bomb them.
I think we also need to talk about the Secret Service crisis.
Oh, yeah, that's a big deal. What the hell is going on there?
Well, I think we'll go ahead and start with that. So, yes, I think we might have we may have unraveled a potential planned assassination attempt on J.D. Vance.
Yeah, this is, for those that don't know, James O'Keefe, which I know we've been making fun of him lately because some of his stupid stuff. Remember the Epstein stuff? Guys, did you know that Prince Andrews was with Epstein? You guys know that?
Right.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Yeah, so let me pull this up. For those that don't know, he exposed a very damning bombshell. Basically, this nutcase who was a part of Secret Service, he was left over from Biden's admin. Let me pull this up. There we go. And apparently, he hated ICE and all that stuff. And allegedly, he was basically like
doxing JD Vance.
Yeah, he was saying some weird stuff about Vance, and like they want to protect him, and you know, his family doesn't really matter.
He was basically he's saying, I think, that he had information on Vance. And it probably would have been used by somebody, probably some kind of an inside job to basically assassinate J.D. Vance.
Yeah, right here. So in addition to past movements, the agent revealed future travel plans, sometimes days in advance. He even sent images from Air Force 2 while on board the vice president. Yeah, so this is bad. I don't give a shit what you think about President Trump or Vice President Vance. Same thing with Harrison Biden. It doesn't matter. You're a part of Secret Service. You keep politics out of it completely. So yeah, basically this nutcase was just telling people, hey, guys, secretly, I know where Vance's plans are to go in advance. I know the exact coordinates and stuff. He just randomly telling people. Thank God for O'Keefe and his people for finding this out.
Yes, so, and I think that agent was also
fired.
let go.
Yeah, fired. Yeah. I think he should go to prison. That's my opinion on this. Yeah, so they worked with Secret Service and they found out that, yeah, this guy, seriously, what would have happened if this got in the wrong hands? Seriously. We're talking about the Vice President of the United States. What if, let's say, name some organization. Somebody name something. I don't know. Freaking Iran or something. I know everybody says Iran, but like just say Iran got a hold of this information. They could have done something to Vance here. Does nobody see the issue with this? And I didn't see the full video, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. He's definitely gonna watch. She might be going to prison for this because you can't leak information like that. So yeah, so apparently here's some messages that this guy sent to the undercover journalists. Hold on. Let's see here. American Nerd for 2. Is it time to replace the Secret Service? No, just give us some people. All right. Aussie has been a member for 8 months, or that says $8. Excuse me, Aussie for 8. Iran, what's happening there? War or peace? What are the odds of regime change? I think regime change is going to happen, but I don't know if it's going to be us doing it. We'll see. The Carney's done for 2. When do you update the end of video member list? Oh, I haven't done that for a couple weeks. I will update that at the end of the stream. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, I kind of do that once a month. So sorry about that. It's been a while. Sorry about that. Okay, I got the messages pulled up here about this Secret Service guy. So again, this is a guy just casually in Secret Service, supposed to be protecting the vice president and his family. And that's what he said. Nope, lol, I'm flying in Air Force 2. I think he leaves in the afternoon. Another one. Not really. Ohio, he'll be there for like 4 to 5 days. And Florida will be just one night, but he gets there next weekend. So he just this random person on the street he met, just casually telling him, yeah, this is where President or Vice President Vance gonna go. He's gonna be at this place in Florida. He's gonna be here in Ohio. He kept going on and said, well, today we went from there to pick up the wife, and now I'm at, and he just straight gave an address. They had to black it out, so you can't even see it. Yeah, it just keeps going. I signed paperwork, so if I don't have to give out information, I never do. Otherwise, I'll get in trouble. So he just this guy. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he did get fired, right? This guy, did he?
What now?
I'm pretty sure the Secret Service guy got fired, right?
Yeah,
He better have been fired.
Jesus. So apparently they did work with the Secret Service, the James O'Keefe and his people. They talked to them, which is good. I mean, this is crazy. This is not, again, it doesn't matter what you think of Vance. You're part of Secret Service. You're supposed to keep politics out of it. Just bad. American Nerd for 2. Why was this guy arrested? Well, he probably got charged now. Well, we'll see. President Gilbert Giddy up for 5. Name an organization that could get Vance's location. The Beekeepers. That's a good one. The Beekeepers. Jacob Martin for 5. In my opinion, this explains the Thomas Cook Secret Service failure. Yeah, there's more to that story, but it explains it. We have incompetent assholes running Secret Service, and that's not good. So yeah, this is just, wow. Again, this is not some random Joe. This guy was on Vance's details. So he actually was on Air Force 2. He was flying with Vance. He was protecting his family. Why would you give out this information? Why?
Because he probably had a friend that was going to do something.
Maybe. Yeah, and he did say that he hates ICE. So you can probably guess where his politics stand. Just bad. Just freaking horrible. All of these people should be fired and thrown in prison. Your freaking job is protect the vice president and or the president and others, obviously. Man, you should get this. Yeah,
I think we had to get into Minnesota.
Yeah, actually, before we get into Minnesota, because that's gonna be the main part of the stream, I want to talk about Scott Adams real quick because that's kind of the sad news of the day. And we'll start with Brnovich. Actually, Brnovich out of nowhere died today. I think it was speculation might be cancer. Because Trump did pull his, for those that don't know, he was supposed to be the ambassador to, was it Serbia?
Serbia, yeah.
And out of nowhere in like, I think October, they pulled the pick. So there might have been an underlying health issue that no one talked about. And Mark Brnovich, for those that don't know, former AG of Arizona, ran for Senate in 2022. He died. So again, I never was the biggest, like, I never hated Brnovich, but he was kind of just there. He kind of existed. So yeah, F's the chat for Brnovich. Not good. We don't know the full cause yet, but yeah. But the biggest,
it was a very weird day, very sad day.
The Bosnians did it. Okay.
And Scott Adams, yes, he passed away as well from cancer.
Yeah, so Scott Adams, everybody knows who that is. I don't know who doesn't. But Scott Adams, sadly died today. This was not a surprise. He was in hospice care for I think a couple days now. So this was kind of inevitable, but he did pass away and he did put out a statement. And yeah, it just sucks that Scott Adams died. I wasn't the biggest viewer of the guy. I watch some of his stuff sometimes, but man, it's just a sad day. We lose Scott Adams and Brnovich like that. It just, wow, what a weird day.
Hello, Luke.
Like,
what is up, fellow real American politics?
Yeah, so
enthusiasts?
Luke, what's your thoughts on Scott Adams dying?
It's very sad. Rest in peace.
Yeah, it was not a surprise because we've been told for a while.
Real American patriot.
That's real. Just sad. He seemed like a good guy, and like he knew what he was talking about. He said some good stuff, but just he died.
He wasn't the only death today.
No, we talked about Brnovich. We're gonna talk about Brnovich. You freaking late hack.
Yes.
Anyways, K-Cup for 5. The guy who was in the Secret Service who works for my dad didn't like the Clintons after Bush Sr. left. So did he. If you don't like him, just leave. Well, yeah, it's like if you don't like Vance or whatever, just leave.
I mean, isn't Hillary a lesbian?
Oh gosh. But yeah, the whole Secret Service.
I thought that was a well-known. I'm not gonna
just stop. Just stop. But yeah, Secret Service. If you don't like the president, just leave. Okay, if you don't want to serve under him, fine. Just get out of there. Just retire. Object Claims for 2. It's not incompetence, it's corruption, deep state. True. Kyle Beckman for 5. We have a much larger extremist leftist contingent than people want to realize. A good channel that exposes Antifa and leftists. Carolyn, I don't trust that.
Carlin's
I don't know that.
Carlin's a piece of shit. I've heard some.
She's a nutcase.
She's a schizo. Tristan says I'll talk about the new reconciliation bill. We'll do that after Minnesota.
Yeah, that bill was fantastic.
And American Nerd for 2 says not sure who Scott Adams is. He was the creator of the Dilbert comics, and then he got fired after he made a joke.
The story of many people.
But anyways, and Daniel Diaz, yes, there's a New York poll.
We'll get a lot of stuff's going on. Ooh, I forgot to post that we're live on the good old Twitter. Up live now.
Well, while you're doing that, we'll talk about.
Why did the GOP just wake up in 26 and then?
I don't know, but I did make a whole video on the reconciliation thing, so people would go watch it. But basically, they woke the fuck up.
Yeah, they did.
Like, we've been begging for them to do something out of nowhere on a Tuesday. They're like, hey guys, here, you wanted housing affordability? You wanted energy? Here you go. Here's a freaking
And it's also
framework.
going to require a simple majority to pass.
Yeah.
Which sounds great, except our majority is basically a
I swear to God, if Thomas Massey votes no on this.
Massey's going to vote no, absolutely. He hates Trump. He wants him to fail. He's going to vote no. So you kind of have to... I don't know what you can really do.
That freaking dumbass. Like, this is a net cut at the deficit. He's going to vote no because it doesn't go far enough, or make some excuse like that. Or, no, the Epstein files. That's what the excuse is.
Probably it's cost too much. It's Israel, Epstein. Didn't Bongino leave Secret Service because Obama? I don't know.
I don't know. You're in for Congress.
Well, Bongino. Eric Prince, I don't know who Eric Prince is.
That's the freaking, which group is that? It's one like the mercenary groups.
Probably. Let's talk about Minnesota.
Oh, I gotta pull this up. Eric Prince. He is the Blackwater. That's what it is. Blackwater.
Okay.
But yeah. Bongino left Secret Service. Yeah. So yeah, just freaking the whole bill that Republicans proposed today was just fantastic out of nowhere. I think it was who proposed it? Pfluger, was it?
I think it was.
Which is shocking, but yeah, so it was actually a really good proposal that actually addresses a lot of things we had. So yeah, it's Blackwater. Marco Rubio for governor of Minnesota. He might be at this point. Okay, let's talk about Minnesota. So Minnesota sucks. Wow. Is that really a hot take at this point?
On to the next story. An American Nerd, please send a super chat so we can get distracted.
Oh, geez. Yeah, so let's talk about Minnesota. So, where do we start? Because we kind of glanced over this yesterday. This is such a shit show right now. I have no clue how things are going to go. We talked a little about the whole Insurrection Act. I think they're going to invoke it eventually at some point, but What the fuck is going on with Minnesota? Seriously.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
It's the most
let's
cursed
see,
state in the union.
An evil fascist did a heckin' murder, and now Minneapolis is burning again. That's basically what it is.
Well, the good part is this time the DHS not pissing around. We sent like 2,000 agents there. They're beating up people. They're freaking arresting people. It's glorious what's going on. But yeah, so they're actually holding their ground. They're saying no. They're actually doing something about it.
I don't think Trump really wants to do the insurrection.
I don't think
Act.
so either.
I think he's kind of against it. I think he's against using it.
I just think,
he's
it makes sense when you think about it, because if you do the Insurrection Act in this environment, there's no going back. Because these nutcases have convinced themselves they're in a civil war. They've convinced themselves Trump is going door to door and, whacking people
That's
and
what
stuff.
Jimmy Kimmel
What
was
are you
holding up
talking
the
about?
shirt. Yeah, the Trump's Gestapo is he's doing that. Immigration. Well, we'll do super chats later.
Yeah. Okay. So, the first big story of the evening related to Minnesota. Trump administration and temporary protected status for Somalis. This was confirmed by the Trump admin a little while ago.
It'll get struck down.
Oh, yeah.
tomorrow
Probably
by a George W. Bush judge.
I hired. Don't worry.
Yeah, but okay, now, the thing with this is it sounds great, but there's only, I think, 2,000 Somalis on the TPS program, which is still a lot, like 2,000 to get them out of here. But the problem is a bunch of these people, they were just let in under Biden. They were let in under Biden. They got citizenship. We're at a point now, you got to start denaturalizing people. And the Trump admin the last couple days, they have been talking about they will go after these people. They will denaturalize a lot of them. Legally, I don't know how much power they got in that front. They got more than some people say they do. But how much can they actually denaturalize people? Like, how many could they realistically do? Like, who would be eligible for that?
Yeah.
No, like, who would be eligible for a denaturalization? I'm trying to think, because there is so far you can go. And that's the thing that sucks, but you can only do so much before even SCOTUS says, no, you can't do that, which is stupid, but do they just go to the fraudsters and call it a day? Or what?
Probably.
Damn. We wanted more, but I don't know. It just, I'm trying to think.
The fraudsters are probably
they're the main targets, I think, right now.
They're going to be the priority, and then I don't know. I don't know if we're going to have the legality to go after the rest.
Well, that's a problem. Like, I don't know, because you could argue that they're not really, they didn't naturalize, because they're most of them are openly like pro Somalia still. They're just openly like rooting for clans in Somalia, and Somaliland is now like the biggest issue, which is freaking hilarious. You guys hear about that? Like, because Somaliland got recognized by a couple countries, now that's become like the number one issue in Minneapolis. Because like the clans hate each other over there, and they brought their clan feuds here, and that's why the Fry won re-election. So
yeah, so what else is there for Minnesota?
Well, hold on, I got a couple of super chats to catch up to. The Carney is done for 5. Immigration should be limited to countries only with the HGI of 0.8 or higher to prevent issues like Minnesota and H1B issues. I agree with that, actually.
We're looking at cutoff right there. Let me look.
So that's the Human Development Index, I think.
Oh yeah, I know what that is.
I'm just trying to think that. That's why I think the name is of it.
The cutoff would. Okay, I'm looking at Wikipedia. The cutoff would be Bosnia and Herzegovina, and then right below that would actually be Iran.
That seems about right.
And then also that would cut off countries like China, Thailand, Peru.
Oh no!
Mexico, Colombia, Brazil, Ukraine, Vietnam, South Africa. Interestingly enough, South Africa, El Salvador. Which,
oh really? I guess. Oh yeah, it kind of makes sense still.
Pretty much the entirety of Latin America, every single African country, including the more developed ones like South Africa and whatnot, Botswana.
Yeah, Botswana's the best one.
Vietnam, they might go up though.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like that might be a good idea actually, because that's like a good way. Like, okay, 0.8. All right, if you're higher than that, you're fine, but below that, yeah, I don't know. America noted for 2. Minnesota is a lost cause as they chose this. That's true. K-Cup for 2. Just remember the Walz guy was almost VP. That's a scary thing. Can you imagine him as vice president right now? Tim
It would
Walz.
be a complete. He would be the worst vice president in American history.
I mean,
easily.
you have a drunk as president, and then you got Tim Walz vice president. You're fucked. Can you imagine dealing with Russia and China with that? And who would be their Secretary of State? Trying to negotiate.
It's probably Blinken, but like he'd be. They just keep Blinken, who's insanely incompetent.
That's true. Yeah, Blinken is one of the worst Secretary of States ever. By
Under
far.
Anthony Blinken, you saw the entire world outside of Europe and like Japan align with China. And as
Yeah.
we've seen now, China and Russia are like the definition of paper tigers. Remember what everyone expected? Everyone expected that the whole Ukraine invasion would be over in like a week.
3
Still
days.
going on after 4 years.
No,
almost
Luke.
last-
It was a 3-day operation. Remember that?
Yeah. Yeah, and we were supposed to believe, we were gaslit into believing that Venezuela would be even worse than that. We got it done within in less time than it took Will Byers to come out as a homosexual, you know?
Jeez.
Like, that's the thing.
I have
We
never.
cooked.
Is that from Stranger
What?
Things?
Yes.
Yeah,
I never
yeah,
watched Stranger
yeah, that
Things. I don't get the reference
Oh,
really.
whatever.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it since season 3. Since
I heard it was.
the-
I heard it was good the
watched-
first 2 seasons. So
proud-
what the shit.
I'm proud to announce that I've never watched a single episode of Stranger Things.
Me
and
neither.
Never will.
The first season was good. The second season was mid. The third season was a pile of shit, and I haven't watched the last 2. So.
Okay,
Yeah.
couple super chats. America Nerd for 6. My atheist friend said, Lori, give me the version of Trump the left thinks he is. Yeah, it's true. It's like they make Trump sound like, oh, he is denaturalizing every single immigrant from the last 100 years. No, he isn't. But
I am though.
oh gosh, K-Cup for 2. Somalis in Minnesota. Look at me, I'm Minnesotan now. Gosh, the Carney's done for 5. The HTI thing also prevents people from saying it's racist because it's done broadly. I'm pretty sure it's within Trump's power to do so as well. Well, here's the thing. I've done several streams on this. As the president, you have basically infinite power on immigration. I'm not even bullshitting you. Even like I forgot which law it was. I think it was the even the Hart-Celler Act. I think it was even. It gives the president broad authority to do whatever he wants on immigration. So he can just say, hey, any country above this index, they're allowed in. He can theoretically do that. And nobody can stop him. At least they shouldn't be able to, but then the judge is getting involved. And yeah. Right guy for 5. Are the Somalis in Minnesota going to start pirating ships off Lake Superior? Oh gosh.
Probably.
American Note for 2. Imagine if Liz Cheney was made Secretary of State. Oh, hell nah. That would have been bad.
He would have
Actually-
been incompetent and overtly hawkish. He
I
would be
think Harris wanted to have like Cheney or at least one Republican in her cabinet.
That's
which
true. Remember, she
would have
was
been
campaigning
Kinzinger
for
or
her.
Cheney.
She had Liz Cheney campaign for her. So maybe.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back on topic here. You know, we should probably
No.
get back on.
Okay, so yeah, Minnesota. This all stems from everybody knows about the shooting by now. It's clear as day that the ICE agent was acting in self-defense. I don't think anybody could dispute that, really. Honestly, who can dispute that with a straight face? That he was in self-defense. I mean, seriously. Everybody on the right, like, everybody agree with that here, right? Making sure nobody's saying like, no, actually, no.
Unless you're Lila Rose.
That crowd of people just went nuts.
Lila Rose, John Doyle, his new episode, he was bringing up Lila Rose's. I think she made a statement on it.
Oh, I missed super chat. Sorry about that. Jacob Martin for 2. Brandon Eric Prince. Oh, real text. You read that. Yeah. I agree. He was solve a lot of problems. All right. The Russia-Ukraine war is now longer than the war between the Soviet Union and Nazi Germany. Yeah, I saw that. That's sad. How do you not beat Ukraine right away? How? How do you fail that
Because
miserably?
Russia is the paper tiger. Russia is the paper tiger.
I get that, but you're against Ukraine. Like, what?
You saw what China said today. They're not helping Iran because they're worried that the U.S. will sanction them. It's like, bro,
Oh
this
my
is not a
gosh.
good- Like we. own
These
them.
are the opponent. Like, guys, the next Cold
The
War is
only
an
reason, like Trump admin, like took China off of being a military opponent for this reason because they can't actually compete with us. The only reason they have Russia labeled as a military opponent is because like Russia's actively invading countries.
Yeah, and
You know?
even then, freaking, if we wanted to, we could just wipe Russia out.
Yeah, we could do like a Venezuela operation to get Putin out. I've seen edits people have made of it. We need that. That'd be funny.
It's just what are we doing? All right. I missed something. I think. Hold on. Did I miss something? No. But yeah, just the whole thing with Russia is just. I mean, like they are our biggest threat militarily, and they can't even they can't even take down freaking. Oh, that's sad. You know, and a part of that is because Russia's military is just shit. But I didn't realize that it was that bad. I mean, if you can't beat Ukraine, what do you think should happen if they went to war with America? Seriously.
They would collapse. Their military would collapse within like a month.
Not even a month. Not even. Pete Buttigieg was considered for Secretary of State. Are you serious? I would be surprised. That's even worse somehow. Because at least Liz Cheney, she is so into like foreign policy. At least you can maybe argue that. But
Buttigieg would be the worst Secretary of State like I could think of.
Pete Buttigieg. I think be even worse. Why Pete Buttigieg? K count for 5. The Democrats trying to make us think a drunk Californian and a living tampon were Queen and Manly, and we're the best option to deal with the opposition. Yeah. That's who we got to deal with. In other news, let's talk about Minnesota. So the Democrats have found the new hero in Jacob Fry and Tim Walz. Look at this headline from NBC News. Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Fry emerges as the city's emotional voice following ICE shooting. So is Jacob Fry going to run for president now because of this?
Probably.
I hope he does. Now, for those that don't know, Jacob Fry is the mayor of Minneapolis, and he has basically been saying like they want to arrest ICE agents. He's been the one like saying like we got to start a fight and stuff. He's been saying that shit, not Republicans or whatever. He's been openly saying we got to deal with these ICE agents. We got to stop the far right. What do they call it? The MAGA Gestapo, right? Is that the name of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, Luke, are you part of the MAGA Gestapo?
I've been hearing reports of this. So I don't know whether to believe it or not, though.
I mean, like
I've been hearing several big, someone say phenomenal, huge reports of this. Even I'm gonna have to do some research into it, though.
This is just insane. Look at this. Longtime Democratic Minneapolis lawmakers, operatives, and community members have lauded Fray's leadership following the shooting. You call leadership what's going on in Minneapolis? Question, how many buildings have burnt so far? How many windows have been smashed in? How many people have been beat up and like shanked and stuff in the last couple days? That's leadership? Really?
But Fray said he told ICE to get the F out of Minneapolis. So he's
you know, that's always weird. Like, why is the Democrat thing just to swear every other sentence? I've noticed that recently, like last year.
It's because it's cool, you know. It riles up their base. Yeah, it does rile up their base.
Well, when Trump does it, it's hilarious. Like we did what he did in Detroit today, which we'll show that video later, which is just freaking hilarious. But yeah, so I mean, this whole thing, are they gonna like make this guy like their next candidate? Which they do this every month. They find like AOC. Who was last year's big candidates? Was AOC, Harris? Who's there? A couple other ones like what? Newsom, yeah, that's a big one. There was another one, Jasper Crockett, yeah. It's like you get all these shit Democrats. They just weird. They oddly find like these shit Democrats out of nowhere, and they try to make them like their next big thing. And then in like a month or two, they just like die out politically because people realize they're just stupid. So yeah, it sounds like they're actually getting behind Jacob Fry. The Democrats are. They really think this is politically beneficial for them. I don't think it is. Oh, Cory Booker. Yeah, that's the other one. I've completely forgot what Booker.
Yeah, he was the leader of the party for basically a week because of a speech.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's like the modern day I have a dream speech. You know, he's Martin Luther something. I don't know what you call him.
Yeah, freaking Booker, Crockett, and now it's Fry. But I mean, do they like? My question is, are they trolling? Surely they're not actually serious about this. Like trying to make Fry like the next big thing.
Nick Shirley?
Oh, God. Well, I mean, Shirley took down Walz, which is hilarious.
You gotta give him credit. I mean, that is like really, really brilliant.
Well, yeah, he not only took down Tim Walz, a former vice presidential candidate and a potential future nominee, which was unlikely, but he took down an entire fraud operation that potentially, again, we don't have confirmation of this, but allegedly was funneling a bunch of money to the Democrat Party, which makes you really wonder, why are Democrats so mad about this? I wonder why. Are we gonna win the midterms? You know, that's what I really want to discuss. What is the long-term impact of this Minnesota stuff? Like, honestly, who does this benefit more in the long run?
Okay, short term, it could
It's
boost Dem
tricky.
turnout, but I think actually no, the Dems that would have been boosted were already going to vote because Trump is Hitler.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
I don't know
it's something I've been thinking about.
I don't know what's going on because all the polls show Dems or Trump's approval. Like they were showing him gaining, and then like the past week they've like fallen off, which I don't know. I don't know what was done that would have made him like hated, and you can't even say the ICE stuff because like that wasn't going on. But I think that
it might be a response bias.
Maybe
it could be that. The only thing we have is up. The economy is getting better. We got this reconciliation now. I think by November, I'm telling you guys this, and this is not a prediction, but this is a possibility. If the Dems keep acting like actual like batshit insane people, which I think is
it's
likely.
100%.
They will.
There is a shot. There is a chance. Instead of a reverse 2022, which I kind of was leaning towards, we could even get a repeat of 2002. But
That would be
we
great.
need to lock the fuck in.
Yeah, so here's the thing, because I would argue right now, short term, it gives Democrats the boost where like now like they were already like max turnout, but now it's like everybody's engaged. They got their operation ready. The Antifa nuts are running around. They got that going now, and it's not even January. But I do wonder, are they peaking too early? I'm starting to wonder, because you can only keep up this type of energy for so long. And I know we are talking with the modern Democrat Party. These people this is their religion. But I mean, is the average undecided voter going to look at this and say, yeah, the Democrats did a great job. You know, they burnt down their own cities again. I'm going to vote for that. I don't know. Conservative millennial for 2. These are all MI6 implants here to take down the U.S. That's real. American nerd for 2. Who do y'all think will succeed Walz next year? Is this? Yeah, Klobuchar.
But back to the conversation, and there was a poll that came out. Now, okay, it did overestimate Harris, but okay, it had abolishing ICE is like a
plurality, I think.
Net favorable. Now,
yeah, let me pull this up.
Now, what I will say is I don't think the majority or plurality of Americans support abolishing ICE, but I do think the majority of Democrats do now. In fact, I would say almost all of them. I would say a very large.
I would say all of them do now.
To the point where I do think that abolishing ICE is going to be part of the Democrat Party platform going into 2026 and 2028. There will not be a major candidate on the debate stage in 2028 on the Democrat side that will be opposed to abolishing ICE, and if there is, they will be cast aside. They will be a minor candidate, basically overnight.
So, in other words, Stephen A. Smith is not going to be the Democrat.
And this is what people understand. Like,
no way.
I am becoming more convinced. The more you look at these polls, I think there's another response bias happening again. The funny thing is that kind of happened late last year in like Virginia and New Jersey, but the opposite. Because after Kirk died, like that's when Republicans like picked up steam in the polls. I think it's what happened to polling last year. There was big response bias there, and then you got the shutdown that happened,
I agree with you,
and all that stuff. Which would explain some stuff.
We thought that September 10th and Crook's assassination would cause Republicans to flood the polls, but it did, but not to the extent that we wanted it to. Nowhere near. And it just caused a response bias.
No, I will say John Doyle made a good point right after those elections. He made a good point that, like, if the people who answered the polls voted, New Jersey governor probably was a toss-up. It's just a lot of people say they're going to vote and then
they don't.
And that's the problem.
Yeah, and Republicans, they got to figure that out. If you don't get these people to vote, they will tell you to fuck
I don't know
yourself.
if there's really a way to, because I think a lot of them just don't care.
That's the problem. But this was such a weird election where
I think they think that they don't need to vote because someone else will do it for them.
Yeah, that's a huge
until it comes
problem.
to a presidential race, in which case there's more of a pressure to.
Yeah, but this would be such a weird election because Musk just spent fuck you money this year. Like, he just spent. What's the over under at this point? How much money he spends this year? Seriously, he's gonna spend a bunch of money, and Trump's got like a couple billion in the bank. They're gonna spend a bunch of fuck you money this year, so that's gonna probably balance things out a little bit on that front. And then Trump's gonna be campaigning actively. He will be on the ground campaigning. So. K-Cup for 5, Rap and Luke. Could Minnesota be the next Midwestern Colorado? Let's get some more GOP power in Wisconsin and Michigan, and let's get these libs moved to Minnesota. I think Minnesota's long gone. It's sad, but it's gone.
Minnesota was never there. It hasn't voted Republicans in like 50.
It's kind of our white whale. I honestly, I feel like even a progressive like AOC would probably win it statewide.
Yeah, I think so.
There's just a lot of kind of stubbornness with their voters.
Yeah. It's not good. That's a problem. These voters
is that their main Democrat base is white people.
Yeah, that's a funny thing about this. Like it's the white voters.
That's the difference between a state like Minnesota and a state like California, or Washington, Oregon, Colorado, Minnesota. Their Democrat base is white liberals.
Yeah, that is very true.
Hispanics to a lesser extent in Colorado. California, most of their Democrats are Hispanic. Now, there's still a lot of white liberals in California. That's why it is still a stubbornly blue state and will probably always be for a while. But again, most of their Democrats are minorities, and that's also why, California is trending right off a cliff, not to the point of flipping, although they might get a Republican governor next year.
Yeah, freaking dumbasses.
Let's see. For my sake, please. But yeah, no. The thing with Minnesota is, like people exaggerate how dominant the Somalis are in Minnesota. Like they're definitely an increasing percentage of the population, but it's really Minneapolis.
If you took away all of the Somalians in Minnesota, it would still be a Democrat.
Yeah, and people gotta understand that. But the reason people have a big issue with it is because it's basically just an entire like ethnic block. They vote like one way. Like they only vote one way for obvious reasons. That's what people have an issue with, and all that.
If they even vote at all, I mean, I'm sure a lot of them do vote, but
problem is it's just like they have no, like, I'm not saying all of them do, but it's clear. Like, look what Omar says all the time with Somalia. It's clear they don't care about America. They don't. That's what people have an issue with, and like they're influencing elections possibly. No, it's stupid.
They just care about Somalia. I mean, it's like.
If the mayor election was decided because of a clan feud in a separate country, you have a big problem on your hands.
This is the type of shit like Americans like, and look, I do this too, but like people make fun of Europe for importing all these like Islamic conflicts and other kind of immigration problems, but like this is straight out of like this Somali thing in Minnesota is like straight out of something you see in like Birmingham in the UK. It's actually insane.
American Nerd for 2. Is it true that Klobuchar might run? Yes, she's running for governor. That's a current speculation.
Allegedly, I would say, but yeah.
Yeah, she's well, because of shit. She's running. She's running.
I mean, I don't know if Lindell's going to be the nominee, but like even with the Jesse Ventura spoiler, we're not winning the Minnesota.
No, we're not. But come on, Ventura, run.
As much of a clown as Tim Walz. Klobuchar is not as how do I put it? She's not as in bed with the fraud scandals as Tim Walz is, although I'm sure she is. But it's like it's not like Tim Walz, who's just like a complete embarrassment. You know? So yeah, she's gonna win. Don't get your hopes up.
Kind of funny if Ventura causes Lindell to win. But yeah, Ventura's gonna probably run. I don't know why. The guy's lost it, but all right. Yeah, Lindell winning would just be the best thing ever, but there's no way he wins. I love Lindell because he's the type person he will get every Republican voter out to vote, but that's about it. So, yeah, not good. But yeah, overall with Minnesota, at this point, I do think in the long term it's going to hurt Democrats because I know short-term polls, like again, Rich Barris running around saying, guys, ICE agents, like, oh my gosh, gotta pull them out of Minneapolis because my polls say so. It's like, no. In the short term, it might hurt Republicans, but in the long term, people want to see the stuff. People want to see action. And they're seeing you go to Minneapolis and say, no, we're not putting this shit up anymore. We're going to deal with it. So, yeah. So don't listen to freaking people like polls. Like, not every pollster's bad, but listen. Polls are not gospel, for crying out loud. Some people got to realize that. It's clear they're not. Look at New Jersey and Virginia last year. It was the other way around.
We want to see people get cooked. We the people want to see cooking take place.
Yeah.
That is true.
American Nerd for 5. For my earlier super chat about Cheney being Secretary of State, candidates for Harris Secretary of State, Jeff Flake, Chris Murphy, and Pete Buttigieg. Oh my gosh. Seriously? Those were...
I think Jeff Flake was the other Republican.
Buttigieg is a Secretary of State, bro.
And Chris Murphy. That's an interesting choice there.
All right, so was Liz Cheney, Jeff Flake?
That was the alleged candidates for Secretary of State. Cheney, Jeff Flake, Chris Murphy, and Pete Buttigieg. And you know damn well, even with the Republican Senate, they would have passed those immediately. They would have rammed it through like nothing.
Oh, especially Jeff Flake. He would have got.
Oh yeah, he would have been unanimous. Faster than Rubio was. Wasn't Rubio within like 2 hours of Trump being inaugurated? Right.
It's so funny. The funniest thing is all these Dems like called them to a hearing later on. They were like, "We all regret voting for you," and then Rubio was like, "I consider that an accomplishment." That's what he said.
Well, that's why I like Rubio. I mean, he's pissing off the right people like that.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely, he's fantastic.
Richard Barris is the right wing Al Lickman. He's turning into it. He's a freaking, I don't know. That whole thing just, again, his polls are good. I mean, which is weird. Like, his polls don't even show what he's saying. That's a crazy thing. Like, he's now doing what, like, and Poster Trump's always I'm talking about. It's like what Rufus does with, like, you know, the supposed, like, people he talks to. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Obviously.
What was it? Was it like McDonald's he went to or something? And like he talked to like a guy or something?
Yeah.
I forget. Yeah.
It's
what was that?
Rufus? Oh, there's man, with him, there's a lot of interesting things that go on, allegedly. I don't even know. It's just a lot going on there, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, no, just the whole thing with Barris now is like saying like, oh, guys, there was a Democrat protest in my Republican area. That means Republicans are losing the narrative war.
He's lost his mind. I mean, I never
Let me pull this up.
He's completely insane now.
Let me pull this up here. Barnes lost even more because at least Barris can still somewhat talk to Barnes is freaking. Well, now they're just openly like showing like Iranian state media and be like, guys, the proof is right here that it's stupid. I gotta find this here. This is the type of shit that, yeah, right here. This is a pollster, everybody. Now, when you're a pollster, what do? Do you conduct an actual poll or do this? Here's what he said. Trump carried my heavily military county overwhelmingly in 2024, larger than he carried it in 2020 or 2016 or 2020. There are anti-ICE protests disguised as vigils for this fanatical downtown right now. That's how badly the right is losing the narrative war. Oh, time to pack it up, everybody. Time to pack it up. It's over. You know, there was a single protest in God knows where, and that means we are losing the messaging war. Does he not realize there are Democrats in even Republican areas? Right? It's like
so many Republicans in like LA, New York, even Chicago, even the Bay Area. That doesn't mean that those areas are going to like flip red anytime soon.
It reminds me, remember Wyoming when they had a town hall and it was filled with Democrats? And people were like, Wyoming's gonna flip, guys.
No, it is ridiculous. It's like, you know, most Republicans, like out of any state, live in California, and there were huge Trump rallies in 2020 in California, and people were saying, "Oh, this." And I remember all the people on the right, and were saying, "Oh, this means Trump's gonna win." It's like I'm like, no, just because there are huge Trump rallies in California does not mean that California is going to flip Republican. That is not how politics or elections in this country work.
Well, I mean, it's like, okay, there's a protest, anti-ICE protest. You do realize these people have gone batshit crazy, right? Like, even in Republican states, they're losing it completely across the board. You literally have 40%. That's a big problem with polls now. Right now in America, 40% of Americans, no matter what Trump says, does, they will oppose it. He could say, I don't know, like, oxygen is good for you. And these people say, no, it's not. So, I mean, that's what we're dealing with here.
Actually.
What?
Actually.
Yeah, actually. But no, seriously. Look at every poll now. It's 100% of Democrats.
There was a Democrat account that was bragging about a anti-ICE protest in Lawrence, Kansas.
Yeah, it was like one of those Democrat parts of Kansas.
Deep Red Kansas, Red Eagle said it was more Democratic than New York and Los Angeles. By the way, Lawrence, Kansas is also where Mr. Beat lives.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Was
that's
he
what...
there?
Probably.
He might have been at that. He might have actually been at that.
That's what people understand. Like, you have to have context. Yes, the polls for ICE right now are bad. But guess what? To this point now, has ICE ever been this publicized ever? Seriously. What is that? Big chips?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
No, it's fine. No, but seriously, before this year, or last year, I should say, when was ICE ever this publicized? Ever?
Never. Maybe in the 2018, but even then, that wasn't really ICE.
Yeah, that was just that was Border Patrol mostly. That was really ICE. So yeah, even then. Yeah, it's so, but now it's already, that's a different story. When you get stuff like this publicized, yeah, people are going to, especially the left, they're going to oppose it because Trump does. And they've been convinced in their head that ICE agents are running around and like, they're going after like grandmas or something, like rounding them up and stuff. They've convinced themselves that's what's going on here. So, I mean, just crazy. And then he says, oh, I got to pull up the FBI tweet because this is just the cream on top. Like this should tell you everything about why you shouldn't worship polls. Okay. All right. Right here. A couple of super chats. American Nerd for 5. Just saw something on the news about a synagogue in Minnesota being burned down today. Is that true? I didn't hear about that.
I wonder who the preparators are.
Yeah.
Minnesota? That's like...
No, it's Mississippi. Excuse me, Mississippi.
Yeah, Mississippi. Oh, no, Mississippi. Oh, yeah. Was that like... it was a white guy, actually.
Yeah. Chance Racing for 5.
Who watched too many IG reels and became a fucking retard, and yeah.
Chance Racing for 5. How odd is it that Elizabeth Warren of all people is more willing to work with Trump than Massey? Speaking of which, Tubbs is the next space southerner. Okay. Man, okay.
I'm the what? The next space southern? Oh, yeah, I get it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I get it now. Gosh. Man, look for 2. MEPS in 2 days gonna get that naval nuclear rating. No, W's trying for Man Milk. He's going to the Navy, I think. So, yeah, good luck. Karen Full got it for 2. President Trump was right to call Tim Walz a retard. Yeah. Chance Razik for 2. Owen Schwarrier, that guy is lost in more than Barris. That's true. I don't know what happened to him from InfoWars. He just went off the freaking rails more somehow. American Nerd for 5. Additional potential secretaries under Harris, Treasury Bennett, Attorney General Booker, VA Duckworth. We dodge a heck of a bullet. Oh my gosh, that was her cabinet? Really? Duckworth and Booker? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Gosh. Okay, I got the tweet right here. So, again, polls are important to look at, but this right here is why you have to have A, common sense, and B, have context for stuff. So, according to Barris, support for abolishing ICE versus the FBI, 42% versus 33%. And again, ICE didn't attempt a coup against a duly elected president, and the FBI recently attempted to. So he is claiming that because his poll shows abolishing ICE is more popular than abolishing the FBI, that somehow means the right is losing the messaging war.
The FBI recently, well, kind of, but not really. Like, it's not a hot topic. And unfortunately,
Yeah,
the way
well,
polarization works is if there's a hot topic, people will go one way or the other. And maybe it
yeah.
shouldn't be this
A
way.
perfect example.
But
Sorry. I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say a
done.
perfect example is BLM. Remember what happened in 2020? Oh, the polls surged like immediately, went up like 20 points overnight. You know what happened a week later? It crashed. The same thing's gonna happen here. This happens every time a big news story happens. 40% of the country lose their shit. They go batshit crazy, and it goes back to normal a couple weeks later.
Yeah,
Really?
I mean, and it does go for both sides. Like
Yeah.
after the 2020 election, and I think some of us may have been fallen victim to this. People like started believing, it's one thing to think that the 2020 election there were some things that went wrong with it. I don't want to say too, but
Some sketchy stuff.
like if there was a large percentage of the Republican base that unironically believed that like Venezuelan and Italian machines were changing the ballots in like Georgia,
Yeah.
and that's obviously not true. So this is just a problem,
Yeah, that's why you have to look at the long term, because when stuff like this happens every time, when the military does anything, the same thing happens. The FBI, and I know the FBI, you can argue, but even then, nobody seriously has been pushing for the FBI to be abolished. So what the hell is he talking about? Seriously, like the only people who wants the FBI abolished at this point?
Nobody, not even liberals, not Republicans, because I guess we control it now.
Yeah, I mean, and ICE, it's 42. ICE is 42%, but guess what? Those old Democrats, who cares what they think? They all voted for Harris. Who gives a shit? They're never going to vote for you anyways. Now they're just admitting, yeah, ICE got to go down. We got to take it down. We got to abolish it and shit. As a response by ICE, this whole thing is stupid. This whole religion surrounding polls needs to stop. I know sometimes you can fall victim to it. Like, listen, polls, they're good to look at. And sometimes you fall too much into them. But you shouldn't. You end up like this, where every single thing, the polls show this, just stupid. He fell for, somebody in chat brought up a good point. He fell for response bias. Yeah. That's what's going on here. He himself preached about this 2 years ago. And now he's ignoring the response bias. Funny how that works, by the way. American Nerd for 2, don't trust polls unless America First Insight. Well, no, America First Insight, we just look at the polls and stuff. We don't conduct polls yet, but so. I liked Mr. Beat for a while, even defended the guy saying he was one of the better liberals before he did really stupid short. Saying he don't make martyrs out of evil people. Oh yeah, Mr. Beat lost his mind a long time ago.
To see what he posts on Twitter and threads and that sort of stuff. Like he said that ICE was a terrorist organization.
I used to like his videos. That's a crazy thing. Before 2020, he was halfway sane. And just 2020 broke a lot of people. Really, last year just completely broke the rest, but
I think people started losing their minds sometime around Obama's second term. Then Trump accelerated it, and Trump's first term accelerated it.
Trump's second term, though, that
2020 and then Trump's second term. It really does feel like people have gone. And I'm 24 or later this year, so I'm not young, but I'm not like super old. But I feel like pre 2014 people were relatively sane. People did not lose their minds. Is it just me?
It's something happened the last year and a half. I cannot pinpoint exactly.
Really the last like 12 years.
Well, no. Okay, so I would say this. When Trump won the first time, that broke like 20% of the country. They went batshit crazy. But even the majority of the left, they were still halfway sane people, right? But they slowly became more batshit crazy. People like RFK and Tulsi Gabbard, they realized this, they bailed. And it got more deranged. But something happened the last year and a half that made these people just lose it. What was the exact moment, I wonder? Because, like, even 2 years ago, they went this batshit crazy. I actually don't know. Anybody got an idea?
George Floyd.
Yeah, it was after that, because even after the George Floyd stuff, you still had halfway sane Democrats saying stuff. Like, they're like, no, we don't want violence. They pretend the violent stuff doesn't happen, but they were at least publicly saying we don't want violence. Now they're not saying that stuff anymore. I don't know.
I mean, probably Trump getting reelected, honestly.
Yeah, because I never thought about that. I mean, I believe Trump winning the first time did break a lot of people, but this time, because they were convinced that he couldn't win no matter what. Because there's no way a fascist can win again. We secured the election. There's nothing he can do. And funny how that works. 2012 was when we started to go crazy. Oh yeah, that's when was it Trayvon Martin in 2012?
Yes, 2012.
Yeah, that's when.
Matter.
That's
I
when
would say, like, I mean, I don't really have many memories for very obvious reasons, but like pre-2012, I don't think people were this crazy. I don't think people cared about politics that much.
The only crazy, like the craziest thing was kind of the Wall Street stuff, but even then that was not that. That was just like millennials doing stuff.
I know. I'd imagine. I feel like there's also a lot of like Wall Street, Occupy Wall Street people that ended up voting for Trump.
Well, that's a funny thing. Like the Occupy Wall Street is the name of it. Yeah, they have to vote for Trump.
No, I think most Occupy Wall Street people either didn't vote and were still leftists and are still leftists today. I don't think some of them may have voted for Trump, but
I think Trump did.
Maybe like Tim Pool, but most of them are not Trump voters. If I'm
Trump broke millennials and boomer libtards understanding the global home of rules-based order. Trump made people realize you could just say and do things. That's true. Because it was like really in 2020 or 2016, it was the millennials and stuff. They went batshit crazy. Not all of them, but somehow the boomers went even more crazy. I don't know how that's possible, but
I think it's because the Trump base, the old Trump boomer base are they were basically the silent generation, and
that's true.
They died.
Yeah, and that's what happened. They all started to die off.
So now we got the
boomers.
Now we have the '60s boomers. We have the hippies.
Now we're getting the really bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. And these people are just what? How do you describe them other than batshit crazy? There's no other way to put it. American Nerd for 10. Say what you will about Vlogging Through History guy, but at least he's sane and reasonable. Mr. Beat is just a YouTube historian version of Alec. Well, yeah, Vlogging Through History. I mean, I'm assuming he's to the left on some stuff. But
I think what I also heard is
he's
that
fine.
he didn't vote for Trump because he wasn't pro-life enough or something. But he voted for Moreno and Republican down ballot.
Yeah, again, I don't know him politically. I don't know. He might have voted Democrat. Who knows? But I watched a couple of videos. He's actually just like. He's not batshit crazy in politics. It's like just talk about history stuff. I think
he said himself the last time he voted for a Democrat was like Bill Clinton in 1996.
Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe he's Republican. Who knows? It doesn't. But the point is, it shouldn't matter for everything. Like History Channels, why should it matter? Like you could probably guess, like let's cut the crap how like Alter the History Hub voted. We'll probably know how he voted, but like seriously, like majority of them you shouldn't know. Majority of them you shouldn't care about, but some obviously you can guess, but yeah.
Some minor news before we leave. I think you all probably saw the financial reports from the great state of Florida.
Do we really got to talk about it?
Yeah, $950. That's all we're gonna say. And
James Fishback received $950 compared to Byron Donalds getting like millions.
45 million.
And I said this. I think I've said this before as well on like group chats and stuff. The difference, I'm gonna compare this to another very online candidate, and you probably know her, Valentina Gomez.
Yep. That's a good one.
But here's the thing. Valentina Gomez has actually raised a decent amount of money. Now, like 5 figures, which isn't that much in the political sphere, especially compared to, the incumbent representative, the 84-year-old John Carter. But here's the thing. She's raised 5 figures compared to Fishback's only 3 figures. Why is that? Because her support base, despite being pretty much online only, is boomers.
Yeah.
Fishback's support base is almost entirely made up
Zoomers.
Of, basically teenagers and broke college students.
Yeah, I don't think it's Fishback running. Like that's not the issue. It's like, why is Tucker Carlson pushing him like he's gonna win? That's what's weird. It's like,
because
what?
Tucker Carlson has lost his mind in
That's
the
true.
past year and a half.
Well, Tucker's kind of adopted. Well, he's also kind of adopted Kuiper tendencies. The other thing I will also mention, I mean, I'll also say, I think, as far as my prediction for the primary, I actually think Fishback, he's not going to do well. He'll get single digits. But if I had to guess where he'll probably do the best, it's probably going to be places like Gainesville or
Gainesville.
Probably Gainesville. Yeah,
what's
Alachua will probably be his best county.
I don't think he's going to do good anywhere because he's not going to get over 1% in the primary. He's going to get like 0.5%.
Well, now that what's his name running? Who's running again? Lieutenant Governor? What's his name?
Jay Collins. There's also
that's a
Paul
joke.
Renner
What the hell is he
primaries.
doing?
I thought it was what happened to Jeanette Nunez, that woman.
Who freaking knows?
I think she's the university president now.
Oh,
all right.
That's why Collins is lieutenant governor. But yeah, there's also Paul Renner, who was the former speaker of the Florida House, and then there's the mayor of Surfside, Florida, where that building collapse happened. He's running, and then there's Bobby Williams, who's like an activist food bank volunteer. He's running as well. He's got like no support, but.
Okay, couple super chats. Josh Lander for 5 did not release the files on March, caused a lot of people to crash out. Mostly on the right though. That was mostly a right wing kid. Before that, it just something changed with a lot of people. Just like overnight, I can't pinpoint it. I don't know. That was mostly a right wing thing that got people pissed off.
The files, the files were almost entirely a right wing thing or libertarian thing
until June.
Yeah, and then that's when Trump started getting very defensive about him.
That's when the millisecond before that. Go back to March. Democrats did not give a shit about it. They weren't talking about it. It was only Republicans.
Happened, yeah, and then in June, after Trump started acting defensive, which was a mistake in my opinion.
That was stupid.
That kind of changed the political conversation permanently.
Yeah,
but once that happened, that became the Democrats' single issue, and now they don't really call Trump a racist anymore. They call him a pedophile, and that's what you saw in Michigan.
Speaking of that, I'll pull up the video in a second. Stana Ray for 2. Trump's response to civil rights was perfect. I did not see it actually.
And sorry, Rap, I meant to say PDF file.
Well, it's whatever. American Nerd for 3. Tucker Candace Barris on MTGO lost the plot. Yeah, it's sad because I used to like Barris. I used to like Tucker. It just why? What are we doing here? Okay, you know what? Before we end the stream, I should pull up the Trump video because
this is gonna be the new reaction, Jeff. Like, the one where he was, pointing at the guy at the 9/11 memorial. That's what that one's.
Because for those that don't know, Trump was in Michigan today, and this worker,
one of the union workers that's still a hardcore Democrat.
Yeah, but no, according to Barris, this is proof the Epstein files are like mainstream, and like the average Trump voter hates him for it. That's his response to this, by the way. But yeah,
I'd still say they're mainstream, but only on one side of the political.
Yeah, because the Republicans they talk about it, but it's just they don't. I don't know. But right here, this is the video. All right, this guy calls him a pedophile protector, and you can clearly tell Trump says "fuck you." Okay, he says "fuck you." He points at him.
Yeah, he points at him. He mouths "fuck you," and
fuck
then
you.
He gives him the finger.
So fucking big.
Right there. Just flips him off like "fuck you." He literally says "fuck you" like 3 times. It just flips him off.
Why would you treat a potential swing voter that way?
Yeah, I'm sure he's a swing voter. Yeah,
I'm
sure.
I'm sure he's totally voting for Mike Rogers.
Well, according to Barris, this guy's a non-Mike Rogers voter, and I agree with him actually. But
I would imagine that guy is probably voting for.
I guarantee you,
Abdullah Saeed.
He's the type of person that has like in this house we believe sign. I guarantee you.
Probably. So I mean, there's still a lot of
because people understand like, okay, yes, these are workers in the unions. Yes, they voted more for Trump. That does not mean every single one voted for Trump. And we are talking about near Dearborn. So
could that guy have been a Muslim? I don't think it was a Muslim.
I don't think so. But like the point is like you don't know. And right here, people said he was just giving him like giving a thumbs up. You could clearly tell.
Yeah, no, I think actually, when you zoom it in, it is actually a middle finger. I love the factory he was touring. Was that like a Ford factory?
It was Ford.
In Dearborn? Yeah, I know that's still the biggest industry in Dearborn, but
that is freaking beautiful.
In Dearborn anymore.
He literally said, I just love the build up to it. It's like he's saying "fuck you" several times, and then he just flips him off. Yeah, this is 100% the new GIF. 100% the new one. Because the current one is was it the 9/11 memorial where he's just pointing at somebody, right?
Yeah, it's the 9/11 memorial. He's pointing at somebody and then just gives him the thumbs up.
No,
I don't know who he's pointing at. Probably a reporter, but
yeah. So he's just gonna he just flips somebody off. Oh, that's beautiful. Bears gonna prop up El Saad over Rogers, Michigan, because his fetish of winning Muslim voters.
I saw Pod Save America. Maybe. I think we're holding a fundraiser for Abdul El Said.
This is great.
I hope that guy's the nominee. I mean, he's gonna get crushed.
I will say I've been saying this for a while.
That primary is a shit show.
If we start seeing Zohran Mamdani get involved in like national primaries,
we're just gonna have like people named Abdul Muhammad Fateh.
I think you could very likely see if you start seeing Zohran travel the country for all these people. Maybe he won't do it very often because I think his heart is very much in New York.
The weird thing is apparently Trump and him are getting along somehow, which is just weird.
Yeah, I will honestly,
whatever.
If Zohran starts caving to Trump's demands, like with ICE and stuff, if he just lets ICE do their thing, I mean, he'll probably, he'll give the, cut it out or something type of thing. But if he lets ICE off the hook, just stay in New York, his approval numbers are going to tank.
Plus, the thing, like he's kind of a shitty position when you think about it. He's in a really.
The next mayor of New York will probably be even worse than Mamdani, but
we'll see. Oh my gosh. Logos lifestyle for 2. Do we get a new poll in New York? Yeah, I had the Republicans down by like 10 or whatever. So it's
I mean it is, it is what it is.
President Gilbert giddy up for 20. I will say I do think that in the midterm into the late 2030s, things will finally calm down. Generation Alpha will be better growing up mentally. Gen X becomes more high voters, and Gen Z becomes more conservative. I actually agree with a lot of that.
Very soon the 6-7 generation is going to be voting. And
they're gonna vote based on like shit posting. That's how Gen Z does that, but.
Okay, Bucky, that was not a reporter he was pissed at. It was a worker. This guy follows us everywhere. He's a fucking like he claims to be a Republican, but he's actually like a Mr. Beat super fan. So he just repeats Mr. Beat talking points. He's on Luke stream all the time. We make fun of him now.
Okay, so in other news, everybody. So Rich Bears are currently in shambles. Support of U.S. intervention in Venezuela among Hispanics. Support 66%, opposed 34%.
Let's take Cuba is next, okay?
I'm so sick of these freaking
people. I want to see an age gap. Is there like an age?
No. It is morning console, so you gotta be careful. But I swear to God, if Bear starts shit on this poll, he shilled for morning console a week ago. I don't want to hear it or what. It was like morning console at YouGov. I don't give a shit anymore.
He has an agenda.
Yeah, he has an agenda.
Wants polls to confirm it.
I just find it funny. It's like, it's just common sense. The average Hispanic hates Maduro. Wow, why do you think they left Latin America? They love Maduro?
The duly elected dictator of Venezuela. Maduro.
These people are actually stupid. They really think these people who left Venezuela and stuff, they loved Maduro.
They think that they left Venezuela because of capitalism or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So the average Hispanic loves this.
Was a capitalist, guys. Hugo Chavez was a capitalist.
Yeah. Well, no. According to Richard Barnes, Hugo Chavez fixed Venezuela, made it great.
According to who?
Robert Barnes. I'm not even joking.
Hugo Chavez made Venezuela great.
He literally said,
made "Venezuela great again."
I gotta find the tweet. He literally said like Hugo Chavez, like freaking he fixed the economy and stuff. I gotta find the tweet.
Oh, apparently Ashley St. Clair. That's a whole ordeal right there. Ashley St. Clair is now pro-transgender.
I hope Musk gets custody of the kid. I hope Musk gets custody.
Yeah, and now she's taking her name off of the book that she wrote.
I could go for the rest of my life without hearing that name again.
Ashley St. Clair. Ashley St. Clair. Ashley St. Clair. Anyway.
Yeah, basically what happened is she was the one that, slept with Musk and stuff, had a kid. And now she's trying to trans her own kid. And the kid's at like 1 or whatever. It's just crazy. And Musk is trying to get custody of the kid. So.
Wonder if she's going to try to like grift off of that and like.
Oh, 100%.
After like, I transed my own kid, and now I'm a Republican, and I'm trying to trans him back, or I don't know, something like that.
Right here. Right here. I gotta find it right here. So, according to Mr. Barnes, he claimed this is what he said. I got right here. So this final thing I want to touch upon because this is the insanity we're dealing with Venezuela stuff. He said one myth about Venezuela is that all the people were rich before Chavez. In fact, they were poorer before Chavez. Just the facts. Question: was Venezuela poor before? Or was it better under Chavez? Really? Everybody else got poor. That's what happened. Oh, poverty went down, everybody. Yeah, sure. Sort of the rest of the world.
They're eating like, plastic foods that are totally real foods, in the propaganda.
They're eating animals and stuff. They're eating dogs in the streets, but nope. It's just
they're
to survive.
Eating the dogs. They're eating the cats.
Look at this shit. This is a problem with third worldists, by the way. And somebody brings up a good point. I have somebody chat. I don't know who it was. I gotta find it. Somebody brought up a good point. At this point, these people would support Russia invading the United States. 100%.
Okay, I will say, I'm pretty sure Venezuela was kind of poor before Chavez, but then it got poorer.
Yeah, Venezuela was one of the richest countries in Latin America before Chavez. Poor compared to like America, but even compared to like a lot of these second tier and third tier European countries,
it was fairly rich.
It was probably richer than a lot of Southern and Eastern Europe.
Yeah,
it was not poor.
Now, obviously,
it's a very common thing in Latin America. A lot of Latin America, they really love socialism until they're governed under it.
and if we don't fix our ways, it's going to be America soon.
That's what happened in Colombia. That's what's happened in Chile
and real text. And if we don't fix that, that's going to be America soon. So yeah.
It's just a point now where these people, they will unironically support Russia invading the United States. At this point, they probably would. Just
make
liberate
America
us or
Russia
something.
Again. That was literally like a leftist talking point for years.
And now these people actually want it to happen. These freaking people are nuts. Every single one of them. All this occurred, by the way, because Trump said one stupid thing in the Epstein files. Funny how that works.
That's probably how the culture shift came about. Trump said something about the Epstein files, and then
now it's we want Venezuela to win. They want American troops to die. That's a scary thing. They literally said American troops, they wanted to die. What are we doing here? All because you disagree with this operation.
They hate they hate America. They hate the West. That's kind of common sense.
But now it's just people supposedly on the right. These people, nothing they don't support anything conservative or right wing. What do they support that's right wing?
They think the entire West is a slave to Israel. And,
that's true.
A certain religion.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I think that's everybody. This was an evening stream. We're gonna do more of these. I think we're gonna do one tomorrow night and then Thursday morning. I like this a lot better. I think we're gonna do more of these 3 times a week. So, yep. I think that's it. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. Any last thoughts, anybody?
And by the way, I'm pretty sure Luke J. Gagnon will be going live tonight.
So basically, what's gonna happen is
it'll be on his channel, The Great Lakes Perspective. Join at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
I think I'll be there. I'll be there.
This is a good chat right here. Putin will release the Epstein files. That's real. Vladimir Putin will liberate us.
Yeah, we've got a lot of guests. We've got a new usual to the streams. He's from Iran. He lives in Denmark now. Is Warren McCommon. He gives us a lot of information about Iran. It's kind of become his show lately. So yeah, join the stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Mountain.
I'll see if I can make it, but
all right.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in the next stream, video, or wherever you see us at. Godspeed.